Hi, second recording one day. I was going to come back on tomorrow, but I thought it would be a good idea just to give you a quick update, just a short one, on how BF Bot Manager runs and the workings behind it, in case anybody wants to jump on and give it a shot. Also point out a little mistake that I'd made when I was in previous videos. So what I did do on the back of my last video, I jumped on and I started this one. I was using the exit 1.75, but now I'm using no exit. Obviously that only applies if it's nil-nil. You can see I've made £2 already, but that was actually a mistake. I forgot that all the simulation stuff, I was using £2 stakes, and when I've moved them over into real mode, I was only using £1. So when I did import this one from simulation, it was still set to £2 stake, so the first trade went in at £2. I think I'm still suffering the after effects of Newcastle reaching the dizzying heights of the magical 40 points last night. So apologies for that if I confused anybody. So when we'd made £15 profit in the simulation, it wasn't 15 points, it was only 7.5, because I was using £2 trades, so just bear that in mind. So it's only, if you'd been using £1 trades, it would only have been £7.50 profit. So going back to the markets, then I'll show you the £2 one, which was sorry, I've gone too far already there. Right there, it's that one at the top there. So you can see £2, and the reason it's £2 is because there was no in-play stats for this game. So I've also changed that. I've updated the strategy to only place bets on games that are going to have an in-play score. It's odd because I was actually getting updates for this game score-wise on my mobile. Through Betfair notifications, because I've got Betfair Exchange Load app installed on my mobile, so I was getting updates. So I hadn't realised that BF Bot Manager wasn't betting at all. It's funny because it puts the first bet on, but then it doesn't put the back bet on. So it's just a bit of a oddity. I think the way BF Bot Manager explain it is that they use a third-party results service. It sounds like they can't tap into Betfair for all of the odds and everything, and the markets, but they can't seem to tap into it for the result, the in-play stats, like the score even, and the time. They seem to get this from a third party, and if the third party doesn't have this available, then I don't know, it seems to cause problems. I don't know why it puts the initial, I don't know why it even bothers putting the initial lay on. It seems odd that it'll allow the initial lay to go on, but then it doesn't seem to place the back bet because it didn't have a scope date. I suppose there probably is some bots you can configure that would do the back bet or whatever you were trying to do, but as long as you weren't looking at the score. Obviously the score is important to us, so if a goal goes in we want to get out. If you were looking at the odds only, then this would be fine in that it would come out at a certain odds reached or a certain profit, because it can get that information from Betfair, so just bear that in mind. But what I've done there is I've tweaked the bot to say just place a lay bet if this in play sort of information here is available. You can see this one wasn't as well, but luckily it didn't place a bet on that one anyway. So you can see here anyway that the bet went in, and I think the home team won 2 or 3-0. I can't remember that actually. If can I get the result? I don't even think when you click on this you don't get the result, because again that's coming from third party. I would use something like a Flash Scores app or Sofa Score app to find that score after the game if that was the case, but I'm not planning on doing any more trading like that anyway, because obviously it went in. There was obviously a win out of the game because we won £2 in a game. We were opening myself up for a fall there if this game had been a draw, because it wasn't going to come out of it. So if it had been a draw, it's basically like just placing a bet at that point. Anyhow, that's the first one. So I suppose we could, that was an error, but it worked in our favour this time, unlike the -£5 from the previous video. We could take £2 off this total here. If we take £2 off every future video, we can discount that if we want. So I'll close that one up a little, and I'll open this one up. So you can see what I was going to go through is this main screen actually. So you can see down the left hand side here, all the ones, these games in yellow here are the ones that are due to start. You can see it's 25 to 4. So this is just highlighting the next time period of a game going to start. The NS here means it hasn't started yet. I don't know what's happened to this game here. It was meant to kick off at 3 o'clock. It's 15:34. It's not started. It's got 0-0 as a score. The market's been suspended and it's still in yellow. So I'm not actually sure what's going on there, but luckily we haven't got a bet on that one either, so I don't need to worry about it. You can see all these games here have got online scores, and where we've got a little green logo here where it's lit up green as opposed to white, that means we've got a bet on. So this game here, for example, we've got a bet on. It's 2-1 already to the away team. It's 73 minutes. I say already, it's 73 minutes old. I hadn't realised it was that far through. And it was 0-0 at half time. So if I break that one open, you can see we'll put a lay bet in at 3.4. And we put a back bet in at 3.65. So we only made 8 pence. Not sure if that was an early goal or not. It kicked off at 2. It wasn't even an early goal. I mean, the bet only went in at 3:15, so that was an hour and 15 minutes after kick-off, obviously including half time. Yeah, it couldn't have been an early goal because it was 0-0 at half time. Not sure why it's only 8p. If I look at this, so I can see that the away team scored first. This is just something I don't like about some of the bets I'm getting on. I mean, this team here is favourite at home, but they're 5th in the league, whereas this team is the underdog and they're 3rd in the league. I know they're away from home, but really, this team here must have been under. I'm not going to pronounce any of these teams, obviously, in my usual form. This team here must have been odds on under 2.0, otherwise we wouldn't have put the bet on. That's how the bot's configured. So, and I'm going to start looking at this kind of thing because you can place bets based on team position and things like that. So I'm going to start looking at that because I'm not comfortable with that at all. Okay, so the odds on favourites to win the game, but me just looking like from layman's point of view, looking at a piece of paper and you're telling me that this team's 5th. It's like in the Premiership, like Arsenal at home to say Chelsea. I know Arsenal beat Chelsea away last night, but you get me drift. I wouldn't necessarily say Arsenal at home to Chelsea or Chelsea at home to Arsenal. Either one should be an odds-on favourite. I think Chelsea were last night. They were about 1.8, I think, 1.6 even. Anyhow, the away team scored first in the 51st minute. I thought that would still warrant a bit more than 8 pence, mind, but obviously not. Obviously, we got out. You can see what we got out at 3.65. So the away team scored first. And I think then the home team came back into it, and then the away team scored again. There's been 3 quite quick goals, well, within 15 minutes of each other, 3 goals. So that game's kind of taken off. So anyway, I'm happy enough to get out with my 8 pence profit. That'll show up here as 8 pence in green when the game's finished and the bets are sort of settled. Because at the moment they're just matched. You have to wait until the end of the event to get the settled bet, just like you would in any sort of bet you place at the bookies, really. But this first favourite column here. I'll go through a few of these columns. Obviously, I've got my live score. You've got the match. I'll start from this side. You've got the match information here, sorry, the market information, because it doesn't necessarily have to be a match. This could be tennis or horse racing or anything. So you've got the market information, which you can look down there, so you can get an idea of like where we're looking here. So you can see that's quite useful. It tells us that's the Serbian Super League, so we can look up Serbia on like Flash Scores app and follow this game if we wanted to in more detail. Not sure how much of this is of any importance is like event IDs, which are just like the ID of the actual event within Betfair. This is all Betfair gubbins. You can see that the market's open, suspended. I've just went in the event. You can click these to get it. You can watch the game live if it's available. Quite often not. Sometimes it's just like a little graphic. Little graphic of who's got the ball and things like that. This isn't even going in, is it? No, it's not playing anyway. It might be not available, or it might just be my internet connection. You can see where it's up to. It's up to the 77th minute now. It's still 2-1. You've got the half-time score. You've got the weather. Believe it or not, you can put trades in on based on weather as well, which is probably more important for like horse racing. The only thing, I mean, I suppose if it was like sort of heavy rain and the pitch was waterlogged, but I don't know if that would signify that the pitch was waterlogged. Just was heavy rain, you might think there'd be less chance of goals. I don't know. It's not something I've looked into detail yet. You can obviously click on this button here, which I've just shown you, which is like the match stats basically, and this is a third party information. So anything off here needs to be available on these rows here, so that's where you can put it in the actual bot configuration to say that the in-play statistics must be available. And you can actually click on the actual game itself, the event itself, and that should bring up Betfair window with the current odds. So you can see our position here. If it's a draw, we'll get 4 pence because obviously we've cashed out. There's a little bit left in there. That happens all the time on Betfair. I haven't even looked into that, why that actually happens. I could click on the cash out button there and like level it. If I hover over the cash out button there, you can see that the home win goes to 11 pence, the away goes to 7, and the draw goes to 7. I tend to just, well, I always leave that in there when I'm doing BF Bot Manager because I don't sit and monitor everything. I just let it run. But you can see that the draw now is 4.8. We come out at about, was it 3.65? So obviously if it came out now we'd get more money, but then there was a risk that it would still be ones each because obviously the home team equalised and the away team took the lead again. So that's the, just going back to that, you can see our bets there. You can see that we're back the draw 3.65, and then when we laid it before the game started it was 3.4, so the difference, lay low back high, the difference is the 2.25 that we get 8 pence from. So you can see that one's cost us £1 and we're going to get 92. Actually we've put 92 pence on the end, so we'll get that as the 8 pence difference, or depending on what the result is here. Okay, so that's that one. You can see on this first favourite column here, this is highlighting the current favourite, which is obviously the away team because they're in the lead, they're winning 2-1. You can see the odds of the current favourite 1.24 and how much money is available. That's just a quick look. Obviously if you click on here where we've just been, you'll see that information in Betfair Exchange. And that's about it on there really. You can see the money in the market here, total matched. That's in the matched odds market. Bear in mind that's just in the matched odds market, so that's the result, home, away or draw. I've got the bot configured just to come in if it's over £1,000. I might up that at some point, so we're just getting on higher profile games, but like something like that game there it would just skip over because there's only 711 matched. It's not actually £1,000 isn't actually excluding many of these games, because even these ones down here starting at 5 o'clock ish, there'll be more money matched on those by the time they kick off, and we only put more bets in 5 minutes before, so chances are we would bet on these as well. Obviously this one's in play, so that one's not going to get, well obviously it wasn't high enough anyway before it started, regardless of any other of the air filter criteria we've got on. So if I go down to, so that one there is going to cash out in an 8 pence profit. If I look at these last two that I've got bets on, this one This is still nils each, and it's 42 minutes in, and we laid at 4.5. So there's a chance we can lose. If that ends 0-0, we'll lose £3.5 quid. But it's only just reaching half time. If I click on the stats, okay, so that's not too promising. We've had the home teams had 1 shot with none on target, and the away teams, I suppose, had 3 with 1 on target. And again, I don't know. I seem to see a lot of these, especially when I'm sort of losing trades. Again, you know, you've got your home teams second in the league, and your away teams top of the league. How are the odds-on favourites? I don't know. To me, that doesn't make sense. But that's, like I say, that's something I'm going to look into. I'll probably do a rule where at least where the home team, I'll keep the odds-on favourite, but I'll probably then say the home team has to be above the away team in the league and by his total. You know, try and do it so we've got a total number of places above as well, not just like 1 or 2. Maybe 5 or 6 or more. I don't even know if I can do that. I've seen something about positions in the league, so I'll have to have a look at that setting in more detail. And it'll be something I'll do in simulation mode first as well. So that's that one. There's been no goal, and let's see how that one gets on the next 45 minutes. Well, 15 minutes half time, so the next hour. And then this one here has 2-1, so I'm assuming we're out of this one, which we are. And we've got a 36 pence profit there on that one. Game kicked off at 3 o'clock. We put the lay bet in at 6 minutes to, and we cashed out at 15:15, 15 minutes in. So if I click on that, you can see that the home team scored after 12 minutes. So we cashed out, took our profit. Looked like it was a reasonable profit, 30 odd pence. So again, first, top of the league, and third. It's uncanny that all these trades it's putting on where the teams are like the top few. You know, they're both in the top 5. I've looked at 3 games now and it's all been that. Anyhow, we've got a goal here, so we'll come out at a profit, so I'm not going to complain too much. I will look at these and all the losing trades on this new strategy we're doing, the no exit. I'll look at the losing trades for where it's 0-0, and also where we make a little loss where the away team takes the lead, and I'll look to see if there's any of this situation, and then if there's quite a few, then I'll address the situation. I'll try and address it. I need to work out whether it's a problem first, because obviously this one's gonna be a profitable trade, as is the other one, but then I need to look at this second one here to see if that's going to be a profitable trade eventually. Again, second and first, second places, first is top. So that's how the BF Bot Manager works in a nutshell, and I just thought I'd show you that, just and to also explain the problems I caused myself with a £2 bet in this no in-play stats. Hope you enjoyed the video. And tomorrow I'll go through all of tonight's games and how we get on. You can see them all down here. There's quite a few later on. 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock, then 1 o'clock's down here in the morning. So tomorrow we'll have all this data piled up, ready to look at, because obviously I appreciate we've only got a couple of games, 3 games, well, one's complete and 3 are in play. Okay, thanks very much. Cheers now. Bye.